Okay, so your record settings are finally done. Now we're going to learn the rules for filming and what all those numbers on the bottom of your screen mean. Let's start with the number, usually on the bottom left, the one that starts with a 1 /. This is the shutter speed. The shutter speed very simply determines how much motion is captured by the camera recording. For simplicity, focus on the speed part of that description. An easy way to remember that this 1/number is the shutter speed is that numbers equal speed. So here's a rule. According to professional cinematographers, your shutter speed should be a minimum of double your frame rate. Write that down. Play around with your shutter wheel, usually on the back of your camera, and see how the numbers change. Okay, so now we've learned about frame rates and we've learned about shutter speed. Here's a quiz for you. Question 1. If your shutter speed is 1/120, what's your frame rate? Question 2. If your frame rate is 30, what should your shutter speed be? Okay, so the answer to question 1. If your shutter speed is 120, your frame rate is 60. If your frame rate is 30, your shutter speed should be a minimum of 60. Okay, so having had a play with the shutter wheel on the back of your camera, you'll probably notice that your image has gone from bright to dark. So take it all the way up. Take it all the way up to 6,000, bring it all the way back down as low as it will go on your camera. Now that's because your shutter also controls your exposure and how much light the camera captures. For nice looking video, you're going to want to buy a variable ND filter. Think of this as sunglasses for your camera. It means you can actually physically adjust it to make your image go brighter or darker. It's really handy and a crucial bit of kit. That is if you're going down the proper cinematography route, but there is always a workaround, so here's your cheat. If you're not wanting to make a particularly cinematic video with the correct cinema-worthy settings, or your situation means you can't actually do that, you can use your shutter speed to make the image lighter and darker. Wind that wheel back and forth as we did to get the correct exposure. How will this affect your video? Look, the truth is very few people will ever notice. A higher shutter speed will mean that there won't be any motion blur in your video, which is the best replication of real life, motion as the eye sees it. So again, ask yourself, what is the video for and who's the audience? An ND filter will look nicer, but increasing the shutter is an acceptable cheat when you need to.